Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another political episode. So, I never, ever thought I was going to do a video about this. Being completely honest, I never thought I would do a video about this. But as you can see, Iowa is on the front page, and apparently we got a poll suggesting that Kamala Harris will win the state of Wisconsin by 3 points. And I was like, wow. What, I don't even know what to say. And here's the thing, guys. This isn't gonna happen. Period. She's not gonna win Iowa. And I will go over what I need to go over to kind of prove that, yeah, she's not winning Iowa. And we'll go over that right now, in fact, because I've heard people say, "Oh, this poll makes me afraid," or "Oh, this poll scares me," and I'm like, "No, it shouldn't." Like, this poll isn't right. First off, why is RFK Jr. getting 3%? Why? He withdrew from the race. He's out. Apply that 3%, you probably would get a tie from this poll. You probably get a tie. But seeing Kamala Harris win this whole election, this pathetic poll, well, I think we know why. It's in the margin of error, they say. It's in the margin of error. But no. Let's keep in mind a poll was dropped a couple days ago that suggests that, yeah, Donald Trump's going to beat Kamala Harris by 10 points. Much as 10 points in the first half of the poll. But by 9 points, around that margin. Republicans are expanding rapidly in Iowa. And they think Kamala Harris is going to trump in his own state of Iowa. In Republican territory. That's not going to happen. Period. That can't happen. And I'll go over why. But first, let's go over the average. Now, there's no real average in Iowa, but what I think Real Clear does say it best. Where the average lies. But let's take a look. Because Iowa's not a swing state. It's not a compatible state. Oh, whatever. This is a multi-candidate race. Oh, they so wanted to add the multi-candidate. I want a Trump versus Harris match. This is the Des Moines Register. I think that was... It's so coincidental that this poll right here, I think this has to be what's it called? It has to be this poll right here. It's the same day. It's a multi-candidate race. But I don't know why they added it. Yeah, I think this is the Des Moines. Yeah, it's the president of the Des Moines, Iowa-based polling firm, Salazar and Company. So I would say this is that poll. So I would not get freaked out for seeing a totally different poll saying that Kamala Harris wins. That's the same poll. I am not sure why they don't have a Kamala Harris and Donald Trump match. It only shows multi-candidate. But I will tell you this. I do think it's weird, though. Trump versus Harris. Serious. Why don't we have... why don't we have that? This is ridiculous. But let's just say, let's create our own average. To say it best. Our own average could just basically be that Donald Trump is going to beat Kamala Harris, I would ideally say, this itself was it was out of the margin of error, but we'll still count it. But we'll still count it. 51-45, a 6-point margin. I would say Donald Trump is winning in Iowa by 10 according to the average. And looking at 2016, comparing that. So a margin of 9.41. I want to believe that, yes, Iowa did go down, but look at the midterms. It was a way better situation. So where's the swing? They never add the swing. It's like so annoying. Actually, hang on. We're probably on the wrong page. We got to go to 2020. All right. I think this has a swing here. This is the electoral votes. But we want Iowa. Okay, Iowa. What was the swing? Margin swing. There we go. All right, it swung. In this case, you could say 1.21 for Trump. Okay, 1.21. I think it's in favor for him, though. I don't think he lost. Because, sure, it said, I would expect the state to go Trump by an unexpectedly large margin of 9.4, voting over 10 points to the right of the nation overall, indicating a possible realignment of the previous Democratic-leaning state towards the GOP, much as in the case of West Virginia in 2000 and in 2004. And this goes without saying, Trump was unpopular in, not in Iowa, but across the country. But Iowa just solidified and became a red state because most farmers, they had left the Democrat Party. They're like, no, the Democrat Party is not the party of farming anymore. The Republican Party took that in and said, hey, you know what? We're joining the Republicans. So, but what are some cases where Democrats did win in Iowa? Well, there was one case in Iowa in 2022 where Democrats did win. I want to believe there was 2 elections, but let's just go find that real quick. Yeah, Democrats came close. Brenna Bird took out an incumbent, Tom Miller, in a very close race. But yeah, this is what a close Iowa race basically looks like. Are you suggesting that it looks like this? Okay. And yeah, another close Iowa race. But this is a Democrat victory right here. Rob Sand. This is a Democrat victory. You'll see there are some counties from previous maps that Democrats won aren't really displayed here. The Biden county of Scott County has basically left the Democrat Party. Let's be honest. Scott County is not a Democrat. It's not a Democrat county anymore. Let's be completely honest here. There's no way that Scott County is, of course, a Democrat county. Like, looking every single map displayed, yeah, nuts. Attorney General, the Secretary of State, the Treasurer election, even close election, Scott County still in motion. Rob Sand lost Scott County, even though it voted for Biden. It voted for Hillary Clinton. It basically voted for Trump twice. So I would basically say making the best bet that Scott County is going for Trump. Definitely. Seeing how much Iowa has trended to the right, that's all I could expect. Right? That's the right thing to expect. So, yes, Trump will win I would say the suburban county, because this county's right by a blue county in Illinois, and it is pretty populated. So, just like I would say Woodbury County right up here, which has, I would say, yeah, it has Sioux City. Basically, then again, despite having Sioux City, it's still a Republican county overall. But yes, you'll see very close races. I mean, certainly enough, we even have Scott County voting for, of course, the Republican, and he said one of the seats here. Let's see. One more. Yeah, this is one. I think it's the top one. Yes, right here. Yeah, Scott County voted for Miller Meeks, Congresswoman Miller Meeks, Marionette Miller Meeks, while previously in 2020, yeah, it voted against Miller Meeks, and not only that, the county above also voted against Miller Meeks. Then again, this was a Democrat seat for a little bit, and Republicans just luckily just flipped it. So, in the case, yeah, this 2018 elections, Iowa was most Iowa seats were Democratic in this case. And that really was in question. We were like saying, hey, would Democrat or Joe Biden, Democrats in general, Joe Biden take back Iowa? That was a real question into play. Or was this a red state? But when, of course, Iowa trended to, of course, I would say the right even more in 2020, we're like, it appeared to us that yes, Iowa is indeed a red state. So in order for, of course, let's just make our prediction, and I'm going to rest my case on a Cook political prediction map. But yes, this is what I'm saying. This is what my betting map is going to look like. Kamala Harris is picking up 5 counties, period. She probably will not luck out with Scott County. Scott County has made a trend to the right. I don't think Scott County is coming back. It voted against Democrats in very important, I wouldn't say important races, but yeah, you would say the Senate election, the gubernatorial election, but you also got the auditor election. Rob Sand, who was actually planning to run for governor of Iowa at one point, but then decided, no, I'm going to run for re-election. But then again, in 2026, you could see a Rob Sand on the ticket, and that honestly is kind of concerning, that you would expect, Iowa would most likely be a toss-up, because Rob Sand is a very, very, very strong in character. You got to remember, he's like the Andy Bashir of Iowa. You got to treat him. But yeah, then again, he comes out very, very, he wins barely. Then again, he wins barely. But then again, hopefully we can crush him. But we cannot downplay it, obviously. Gotta treat him like he is the real deal, in other words. But we're not worried about 2026. We're not worried about 2026 midterms. What we are not worried, but what we are trying to win is 2024, and that is coming up in 2 days. And it's election week, and believe it or not, it's been seriously, it went by real quickly. I mean, when we covered the primaries, it really helped, of course, speed things up. But before we end this video, like I said, we are going to go ahead and take a look at demographics. Democrats say, oh, Iowa is going to go blue. Well, let's see. Iowa went to Trump by 8.2. This is 81 million votes. If Kamala Harris wins 81 million votes, I don't see why she could win 81 million votes. 81 million votes itself seems pretty impossible for Kamala Harris. But then again, if she wins 81 million votes, which I doubt it, 8.2, that's not enough to flip Iowa. I don't know what they're thinking. In order for what does it take to flip Iowa? Okay, so obviously, Kamala Harris will need to keep her racial minorities up, right? 60% for Hispanic, Latino, 90% for Black, African American, Asian, 91%. She needs to keep those records up. And even with those high records, Iowa is said very white evangelical state, but let's just say that goes down a little bit, 58. All right. Well, in some places, yes, Iowa dipped down to a 2.1, but that's not enough to win Iowa. In that case, you would flip Florida first. And North Carolina, you would have a solidified hold of 3.9. Texas is technically more blue than Iowa. So you would flip Texas first. I would say is less conservative than Iowa. So you would flip Texas first. Ideally and realistically speaking. Let's just say college voters. And that's true because they have the University of Des Moines too. So yeah, look, you flip Texas and then you flip Ohio. You're still holding on to Iowa barely. Let's see. No, we don't need. I want to know top 10 wise. All right. So, looking at the most conservative states, Wyoming is obviously the most conservative on top. Oh, well, Nebraska 3. That's a congressional district, though. But, let's see. Where's Iowa? Iowa is right below Alaska. And what's below Iowa? Ohio, a state where generally we said, you know what, this state's not in competition. Not only that, but Texas and Florida are also below Iowa. In this case scenario, yes, Kamala Harris would need to win 10 points in the margin. 10 points in the said election in order to put Iowa in play. Okay, this is so unrealistic. You would expect this to happen in 2020. 2020, this was more of a realistic scenario. But then totally forget. Like we did yesterday, we talked about the 10 reasons why I think Trump will win. If he's not going to win, it's going to be a close election, period. It's not going to be a Harris sweep, and it's not going to look like this. Forget it. It's not. So obviously, Iowa is literally tilting. So maybe, yeah, I move it a little bit, and there you go. Iowa's a blue state like they want. And in order for that to happen, it's a Kamala Harris plus 11.5. 11.5. And that itself, she needs to flip Texas. Texas comes first. Florida. Ohio. South Carolina is barely going for Trump. It's almost flipping to Harris. Then you got Kansas, Missouri. It's a horrible turnout for Trump. And that's not going to happen. So that's not going to... Yeah, people that are concerned about this poll, come on. I mean, it is in the margin of error, so that's what they'll say. But guess what, guys? The chances that this poll is actually being efficient is small. Very, very, very small. 9%. Let's see what Polymarket necessarily has to say about Iowa. Yeah, this poll was released on a Halloween. Or something close to that. Oh yeah, they have Wisconsin going for Kamala Harris now, of course. 60% chance of winning, but then again, it's getting closer to election day. But Trump is still winning, leading efficiently. 82% chance in winning Iowa. 80% chance. 82% chance in winning Iowa. That's good. 82% chance. And we're supposed to believe that this state's going to Kamala Harris. Maybe it lowered down a little bit. Because of that stupid poll. But at the end of the day, the election has been decided, in Iowa at least. Trump's going to win. Trump is going to win. So anyway, what are your thoughts? I see that Kamala Harris is surging in betting odds. That is because of the fake Kamala Harris surge. You got to remember. But then again, Trump is easing out. Yes, he was plummeting a little bit when it came to betting odds. But then, yeah, it was evening out a little bit. But what do you guys think? Let me know down below. And as always, I will see you all in the next political episode.